day, everybody. Welcome to Evolutionary Talks. This is new for us. I'm very excited about it though. And so you would know that Evolutionary Talks would be part of Evolution, which is Venture Studio, Impact Venture Studio, Social Impact Venture Studio, focused on women-owned businesses who are doing the thing. My name is Mponeng Seshea, and I'm part of this amazing team that is looking to shift the world from this poverty cycle to a prosperity mindset. And that's who we are. And I have a guest, obviously. I will let our guest introduce her beautiful self.
Hello everyone, my name is Thokgamo Maratela and I am the CEO and founder of Nitamo Projects, which is a sustainability consulting firm. Thank you for having me.
Your name is always so difficult to say.
Thokgamo.
Thokgamo. TK.
TK, there we go.
Thokgamo.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful name actually, but I always find it so difficult to say. So, TK.
Yes.
And guests there, I forgot to say, our topic today is sustainability in the circular economy. I got that right?
Correct.
And I mean, we all know that sustainability has been a buzzword for the longest of time. Circular economy is quite new. I mean, I don't know a lot of people who know about it. I even had to do like a little bit of research about it. But even from what I am already researching, it seems like it's been on there for a long time, but there's a worry that it's getting into sustainability, right? That's just a glimpse of what we're going to be talking about. I want to read our vision out for you and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So our purpose is to empower women in business to be quintessential multipliers and cultivate a sustainable growth mindset, aspiring for a future where the business world mirrors the diverse richness of our world. So according to you, what is sustainability and what would you think it means in that little aspect of our vision, just from your perspective?
Okay, you did mention that sustainability is a buzzword because there's a lot of jargon around it. A lot of carbon, people always see carbon, hey, lowering the carbon credits. Sustainability in its most simplest form ever is whatever it is that you're doing or the product that you're producing, will it outlive you? Will it benefit the earth? Will it benefit Moses? Will it benefit Fundisa? Right, that's basically what it is.
Okay.
It's you thinking about whatever it is that you're creating, even the services that you're providing, are they benefiting the next person? Right, it's not just about profit. It's also about people, planet, and profit, obviously. I'm not saying that businesses should let go of, or we all become tree huggers.
Although we need to hug more trees, honestly.
Honestly speaking. But I think it's more so related to, as I mentioned, what you're doing right now, is it going to benefit another person? Right? And your actions, it's in your actions. It's in
so
everything.
It's thinking differently even.
It's not even that. I think our ancestors got it right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if we go back to the way our ancestors used to live, right? The mud houses.
Yeah.
Even the way that they used to do their farming. Everything was seasonal. The plant or whatever crop that they used to plant, they used to do some rotational planting as well. All right. So it's just, I would actually take it a step further and just say, living the way our ancestors used to live.
You know, actually, it's funny you say that because today I was listening to, and it came by randomly, algorithm, YouTube, and it said scarcity is a myth. I think maybe the title pulled me to listen.
Yeah.
But when they were talking about it, they started mentioning how our ancestors maybe had it right because the way they used to live, they actually thought of the future. They thought of the long term. Although we think that they're backwards, everything they did, if you would break it down to the mud houses, why they used mud, you know, the seasonal fruits and vegetables, and even the patches. I remember my grandmother would be like, no, we're not planting here this year or whatever because it needs to recover, whatever it is.
The soil needs to
We never thought about that
exactly.
stuff. Like, I'm thinking about it now, but now we don't, because we're so eager to have more and more and more and more and more.
It's consumerism.
So actually then, to what you've just said, those guys with the scarcity myth are right. If we would shift our mind to sustainability.
It's just a mindset issue.
So then the word sustainable in our vision makes sense.
It does, because I see it from a perspective of collaboration. You're thinking about little small businesses that offer different services that will create a circular system. That's what circularity is all about, right? So yeah.
But explain that a little bit more, because I really do believe that circular economy is still not something that's very known. And I mean, already in the conversation we've had, we've tied sustainability to circular economy, which I'm feeling like, as people are starting to learn more about circular economy, that's where they're going to go back into. And to your point, we go back to marking circular economy or sustainability as just recyclables.
Yeah.
Recycling.
Reuse,
that's what
recycle, the triple R.
Yeah, reuse, recycle, and that's all sustainability is.
Yeah.
So maybe if you could also just give us a breakdown of what circular economy is then. And then what is sustainability in circular economy, with an example.
Okay, let me think about it this way. Okay, let me put it this way, right? A circular economy it's quite different from your lean economy. The lean economy is take, make, dispose.
Okay.
Right? A circular economy thinks about each and every process.
So lean is what we currently have.
Lean
the traditional.
It's the traditional.
Which is weird, because lean I thought was, you use the little bit, like, lean manufacturing, for instance. They say that the focus is on process and making sure that you're cutting out the fat, the things that you don't need. So I'm surprised that the lean economy is take, make, and dispose.
Should I rather say linear economy? Does that make more sense?
Linear. Yeah. Oh, like a line.
Yeah, like a line. Sorry.
Okay.
Schoa, English.
Schoa.
You guys sorry, linear economy. Yeah. You're perfectly right with the lean. I'm thinking about it even from agile methodologies about the lean method. Sorry, my mistake. The linear economy. Yeah. A linear economy is take, make, and dispose. Okay. Right? But then a circular economy it also goes back to your having a sustainable business model, right? I'll even take it back to that, right? Being very conscious about who your suppliers are, who your manufacturers are, what products are they handling, the products that you're using, how can you make more money out of it? Obviously, even your waste product, how can you make more money out of it? So simply put, a circular economy, I'll say it in the basis of incorporating small businesses, right? Let's say a big plastic manufacturing company. They think about, okay, this is what we're doing. We're creating plastic products, whatever, nylon or whatever the case may be. And they think of partnering with a small company that collects waste products, right? And within that process, they're offering another business an opportunity to make money, right? When you think about it that way, okay, what are those guys going to do with that plastic? Okay, they'll think about their own way of doing whatever it is that they're doing. Whatever waste product they have will obviously benefit another company. We've spoken about coffee beans, yes. Right? Or even coffee, how shall I say, cafes.
Yes. Coffee shops, yes.
So to say. Coffee shops don't realize that they actually have gold in their hands.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same as even your food lovers. They don't realize that they have gold in their hands. That they can actually sell all of their waste products to another company or even to farmers. Okay. And they'll be able to make something out of it. So that's exactly what a circular economy is. It's closing the loop basically. Saying, okay, what can I do within my processes? Obviously, where can I make more money? Basically, where can I collaborate with other businesses? How can we create this synchronicity?
Something more.
Something more. That's exactly what it is.
I'm thinking like my head is going like because from what you've just said, there's an opportunity for the corporates basically to make more money by selling their waste. But then they're hitting the sustainability reports and ESG, whatever's, which I'm sure they benefit somehow, somewhere there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And probably there's some cost reduction that they can think about as well. Maybe even like the person who picks up, right? There's then opportunity for new businesses.
Correct.
That we probably haven't even thought about.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
This is so amazing. And it all really comes from how do we think about the products we're making, basically, or the services that we're making.
Correct.
So it's just thinking about the next person.
Yeah.
I heard about the coffee beans. These people who were they were growing mushrooms using coffee beans.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it is actually a great medium for mycelium. That's
For what?
Fungi mushroom. Sorry, I went technical.
What technical?
Mycelium.
Mycelium.
Yeah, it's like the group,
Of the fungi, the fungi house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you then advise these corporates to pick one, and then maybe give them like a bit of strategy, and then say, hey, and there's Evolution here that has businesses that you could work with. How do you link the two things? Because I'm just thinking realistically. So as a person who's listening, so I'm maybe a small business, right? And with because I think since I've been with Evolution and since I've been an entrepreneur, there's people who are entrepreneurs, but they don't have their own ideas, but they can run as entrepreneurs. And then there's idea generators who are also entrepreneurs, right? And so for the non-idea generators, they're probably sitting here like thinking,
what can I do?
This sounds amazing.
Yeah.
How do I start? Where do I start? And what is it? What gap am I closing? Really?
Okay, so you said I should think of a business case.
Maybe something you've worked on. You don't have to mention names of the projects.
Oh, yeah.
That you've worked on for your organization.
I almost went for the construction industry, but no.
Construction is an interesting one. I'd like to hear about that because usually when we're thinking sustainability and recycling, we're thinking products.
Yeah.
So I would love to think about it from a service perspective. I mean, construction in a way is product, but it's service.
It's service as well.
Right?
Yeah. I have my reasons why I don't want to touch construction.
Okay. Well, touch the one you want to touch.
Let's say company X sells fruits and vegetables, right? A big market, obviously, they have a lot of waste in the background.
What type of waste? Like what examples could you consider waste being?
Their leaves, the waste that they make from, let's say, their smoothies and the juice, that fiber that comes
stuff that gets left behind.
The fiber
My
that
mom
gets
used
behind.
to make that for soup. You should put it into like the pulp after she's
so smart.
Yeah.
What? I
She would
never thought of
make
that.
it. Would use that for like
to make a
the
soup.
base. So when you're making a soup, you pour some of those, and it would be like a nice base, actually.
Your mom is so smart. Oh my god! See why I say, like our ancestors knew exactly what they're doing.
True.
Okay, so this particular company, let me be more specific. Then they sell juices, they sell smoothies, they make salads, all of that, right? I'm thinking about two companies at once, but it's fine. And whatever waste material that they make maybe ends up in some landfill, whatever. Right, here comes that's company A. Here comes company B, a small company or from, I don't know, rural parts of, I'll say Mafike, right? They take the waste products, well, they go, they get their waste pickers to separate the waste and take whatever leaves or pulps that are
So like biodegradable things.
Yeah, 100%. They take all of that, they grind it up. Either they can put it in water or they can mix it with the soil to create more compost.
Okay.
They sell the compost back to farmers.
Grind it how?
Well, they can use machines, but then some of them, obviously, if it's a small company, they can just get people to actually just grind it.
Literally and mix it with soil.
And mix it with soil.
And this is like any biodegradable thing, like food.
But it's mostly like you'll obviously have to separate it between fruits and vegetables because there are some acidic.
So it's different manures that you would then create.
Exactly. Okay. You've now created fertilizer.
Okay.
So you can
and then
actually
you can go sell that.
You can go sell that.
Look at that.
And that's what I'm talking about in terms of creating a circular economy.
Why do you think that the big corporates haven't thought about that? Because I mean, we buy manure. Like, why do you think they haven't? Or because maybe their focus is just, this is my business and I don't really care about what happens next.
I think so. I think it's a matter of, companies or big corporates are mostly focused on what they're doing. And obviously we can learn a lot from them in terms of not, like being all over the place. Actually, it's a new word I also just learned, by the way. Don't worry, it's my favorite word now.
It sounds like every time
the word itself literally tells you you're all over.
Everywhere.
So they are very focused, they're very targeted, they know exactly what it's also for measurement, right? To be able to measure and say, okay, last quarter this is what we did, this maybe in terms of material, this is the amount of material we used, it's just, I think for them, they're making it as lean as possible, as you said, so that they can have proper measurements and be able to have some form of metric that they use to be able to say, okay, last year or 2 years from now, this is what we did, etc. Right? But now when we introduce another company, it's obviously going to benefit them because they have to buy it from them, not just take it from their scraps, right?
True.
But yeah, I don't think they think that far. I think they entirely focused on what they have to do. And if it works, and then they just carry it forward.
Sure. Where have you seen it done better though? And maybe how do we adapt it for South Africa?
I've seen it in China.
Okay.
They have created.
China's like got everything right.
Listen. But honestly speaking, when it comes to sustainability, that's where they have to grow, right? I think that's their growth factor. But the Chinese, they always think about a closed loop system. Listen, if I know Mponeng, maybe I'm the one that's. I'm touching my mic. I'm the one that I have a juice company, right? And I'm already thinking about, where can I get cheap fruits? They already know Mponeng that's going to give them that. Okay, Mponeng comes in, she's like, okay, I think that maybe I can use your waste to do that so I can buy it from you, let's say for 5 rand per small bag or something like that. And then they obviously, they build systems according to what I'm really proud of them for doing this. They use what they have. And that's what has actually promoted that circular economy. I know Moses is busy. Maybe
so they didn't keep looking outside to say, I don't have this.
No.
How do I get it from the outside?
They rarely do that. They always think about, how can I improve the system with what I have? Do I know somebody else that can give it to me cheaper? Do I know somebody else that can give it, that can make the system simpler? Right? So that's what I've realized with them. They're always thinking about, let me knock on next door.
So already the way, maybe it's part of their culture. I think it's their business idea already has collaboration in place.
They already have that.
So it goes back to that whole shifting and thinking.
Exactly.
And then in South Africa, how do we do this?
South Africa, I think we're already starting to, I think we've put a name to it. I think South Africans, we were more focused on how can I do business with maybe international clients, how can I bring clients in, but then now we're starting to think about, I think even Africa, I could even talk about Africa, our continent, how can we what can we do with the resources that we have at the moment and make more of it. But I think it's slow, but I do think that people are more aware that there is a need for collaboration. There is a need for synchronicity, right? Especially amongst businesses. I think more people are starting to be aware. That's why I also decided, okay, Nitamo Projects will also have courses to actually help people at different levels, obviously. So I think we're starting to catch on a little bit, but most people that I talk to, they're like, but this is how my grandfather used to do. This is what my grandfather, and I'm, we're just doing things.
Yes,
we're just going back. We're just giving it a new name. That's all.
So we've always been, and this is so fascinating.
We've always been living like that.
This.
People, let's say in our townships.
So do you think the Western influence has had a lot to do with how we have changed doing things?
I think so. I think so. The average low-income household, we reuse our ice cream tins, right, for lunchbox. Come on, we've been doing that for such a long time.
This is true.
Plastic bags.
But we didn't have the word for it.
See, we did not have the word for it. I think now we are so overwhelmed by hearing, oh, sustainability, yo, carbon footprint, Sana. You slow down.
You're just like what I've been doing.
Slow down.
And maybe this is why we don't see it as a big thing, because we are trying to move away from it, because we thought for the longest of time, oh, this is not how, when you've made it, this is not how you do things. And now someone is like, oh no, actually you were doing it right all along.
Oops, sorry. Come on guys, come teach us again. Come on.
And it makes sense, because you go to these now fancy restaurants and they've gone back to using the crockery we used to use.
The tin mugs.
100, 200 rands to eat from a tin cup.
See what I'm talking about?
But honestly,
and then they call it rustic.
And you're just like, excuse
exactly,
me.
Excuse me.
You know,
this is
like,
what my ancestors used to use.
A friend of mine, we were in this course, and they were teaching us about social entrepreneurship. And this girl, this friend of mine, kept rolling her eyes. She was just like, you can't teach social entrepreneurship to a person from Africa. That's all we do.
That's who we are. Literally.
But again, we didn't have the words.
Exactly.
Right?
We did not
have the words, and we didn't see the value.
There we go.
I think that's the worst part, actually, is that an outsider had to come back and show us the value of how we've been living so well.
Exactly.
Because it wasn't shiny and glittery. So we were like, oh, no, I don't want to live in a mud house. Okay, I mean, the bathroom is a thing now.
Oh, my long drop. Sorry, long drop your name was a very great innovation. I'm sorry. Thank you for changing the long drop system, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for the gutters and the great plumbing systems. We thank you. No shame. Thank you. Yeah, no, we just, the more I learn, you know, I think I was very fortunate because throughout my career, started with renewable energy, and then, you know, while we're busy strategizing, and you're like, wow, this is what our people used to do. What are we doing? Are we just putting a nice name to it? It's like where I decorate like glitter.
Yes.
This is what it is.
Yes.
But we've always been living like that. We've always been living like that.
So now it's almost like it's weird because you need to now, in your business, I'm assuming, do you now need to restructure the wording to almost entice the businesses to go back in thinking, which is weird because we say growth mindset,
but then now
but it's going back. And I mean there's a lot to, I'm sure that's a whole discussion on its own. The fact that what is growth then? What, you know what I mean? Like, how do we even think about it, because I think for me, when we thought about it, when we've got growth mindset everywhere in our organization, as Evolution, we have it in our purpose, in our mission, in the things that we do. We talk about growth mindset, and the whole thing is about long-term thinking. It's about that. Whatever, you're thinking about what you're doing now, but for the future. Correct. So even if you're creating a document, make sure that there's a template so that the next person can just use that instead of having to rethink about what you would have done and made it easier for them. So in a service type of business, I find myself wondering now, if you were to talk to other businesses and you were to tell me to be sustainable, I'm just wondering, is it, because when I read it somewhere, it has sustainability. I thought actually that was quite cool. One of the definitions, I found this funny, there's couple of different definitions, but anyways, conserving the use of resources such as habitats, raw materials, energy, or human labor. I don't think I've ever seen or thought about human labor as a way that we think about sustainability, and therefore how we preserve it or conserve it or ensure its long-termness.
Exactly. Or there was a study that was done as well. It was in connection with the labor part, right, and also employee retention. That when a company is sustainable, or that they think about their people's well-being as well. Companies with wellness programs, etc. Their employee retention is actually far much higher than other companies, right? We don't think about it in terms of labor because we have adopted to do more, work more. But if you create a system, right, let's say someone else creates a template and it works. Somebody else, that person could just reuse it. Obviously, I'm not saying that things should be boring. We should obviously, I think when we think about innovation, we always think about more. And I don't think that's the case. To answer your question about the growth mindset, a growth mindset is just to think about, will this company be able to outlive me? Will my people, have I transferred skills to my people? Whereas I know that if I step out as the CEO, Fundiswa will come and be able to carry on my legacy. Not just thinking about our children as the heirs of our businesses, but am I actually educating my people about thinking about longevity, about the future, not even 10 years from now, 100 years from now.
That's amazing.
See.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of organizations actually go there. I remember one of the things we want to do with MZZ is actually transform organizations to be places of purpose. And one of the things we want to actually include there is to say, is the human that's working there aligned to the values of the organization? Because if they're not, then it doesn't matter what skill you have. You're not gonna. You're in an unhappy place.
Yes.
The employer is not happy. So you're both sitting.
There's
and
tension.
not and so this whole
tension.
energy is not then conserved in a way. And so I think you need to think, and then that retention thing comes in, because then you don't know why you keep losing so many people.
There we go.
Because we want to do more. You think more.
Yeah.
So recently, as part of my MBA, I had gone to Japan, right? And the whole module was on innovation and R&D. But we were then looking at Japan as a nation, in comparison especially to the rest of the world. I find it funny, they think everything that's not in Japan is the Western world. Like, they're just like, if you're not Japanese,
we are in our own.
Everything else is just Western influenced.
Not thinking about those things at all.
So if you were to advise or talk to a business that's like idea stage to maybe 6 months, and I want to make it like, because this person has not been in business, what do you start telling them? Firstly, is it a good time to start talking to them about sustainability practices? And what do you say? Like, what? Because now I'm new in entrepreneurship. I'm still figuring this out. Now you're adding another layer. Firstly, I thought sustainability is about recycling.
Exactly. It's so funny.
No, it's not just that. But now you want me to think about this is because from what you're saying, whether it's sustainability or circular economy, we think from material that I'm using, from the product or service that I'm delivering. My business model is then impacted by these decisions.
Yes.
The industry I'm working with and possibly the partners I decide to work with.
Correct.
So how do you then start talking to a person who's just been in business, who's not even thinking about industries yet, because they don't even know about those things just yet.
Thinking about tomorrow's bread.
Yes. So how do you encourage them or get them thinking about it seriously?
If you have just started, that's actually the best time to incorporate it. It's quite difficult for corporations, our top 4, top 10, to incorporate those processes or those strategies because it's been working for 50 years. Who are you to tell me? Who are you to tell me to sustainability? So when a company is in its infancy or if it's a small business, it's easier to pivot, it's easier to change. And that's why I mostly target small businesses to come and take my trading course. This is what we do. I know you're gonna tell me about recycling plastic.
Yes.
No. So sometimes I even change from English and just speak Setswana because it's like sometimes English can sound like this thing. It's like it's so in the clouds. It's not here with
the definition, the words,
right? The jargon,
the meaning of the words as well.
Oh my goodness! The best time.
You can get stuck in that stuff.
Exactly. We see it a lot in corporate where that happens. But the best time to incorporate sustainability practices is when your company is at its infancy. Small and medium, that's when you're able to say, okay, where do I source this product? Okay, is it recycled material? Is it this? Is that? So for some companies, they obviously argue that it's a little bit expensive, right? It's expensive now, but then in the future, you need to think about that.
The opportunity cost.
Exactly. Oh no.
Of not doing anything.
Yeah. But then you actually realize that you've burnt more money, that you've lost more money. A company that's 2 years old versus a company, that's 2 years old that has incorporated sustainable practices. 5 years from now, 10 years from now would have saved a lot more money, even though the initial costs would have been a little bit higher. But the process, it's like a well-oiled machine. It just keeps moving, and you're able to actually see that, I have actually saved a lot of money. I have actually made more money from sustainable practices. I think for large corporates, that's why I don't even want to touch on them. How can I say this? It's like our cultures, right? It's very difficult to change. You can't come and tell a person that, hey, you can't be believing in this for so long. It's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. It's difficult for them to change. Small to medium companies are still malleable. You can still say, okay, cool. How about, one step at a time, one day, one step at a time. You just say, okay, cool. How about instead of sourcing your product from there, it might be a little 2 Rand extra, but you're saving money. You don't realize it now, but you realize it in the future. So I think small to medium companies are quite malleable. They can change. If they have the agile approach, they can change. Agility is very important in small companies because obviously you don't know who's going to come knocking on your door and say, hey, here's 10 million, let's do this. Right? Sure. But also to what you just said now, you also have to be quite meticulous in this choosing suppliers. Yeah. And maybe that's where you will have like an extra cost. But honestly speaking, I think when you're still especially like less than 5 years, I think you're absolutely able to see the benefit, and you'll see the benefit in 5, even 10 years. Business
and
is
you
not.
think maybe that 5 to 10 years is what's holding people back, because they're like, yo, that's a long time from now. And I'm talking about a small business here. Who's
100%.
thinking that I want to see my returns
100%.
sooner than
100%. The issue with us is also patience. I think we also lack patience, but
which speaks to why we can't do sustainability.
that is true. But you are more, how shall I say this? You're more attractive to even international markets when you're a sustainable business, right? You attract people that
if you're
actually,
already considering those, like the reporting, it's in your model.
the models, all of that, right? You're already attractive to the best talent. You don't even think about that as a business, right? You're so attractive to a point where I'm like, sure, I want to work for Imizizi because Imizizi cares about its people. Imizizi cares about where they source their products. Imizizi cares about their supplies. Imizizi cares about who they work with. To be that meticulous, it helps you in the long run. It's obviously, you need to have a little bit of patience at the beginning, but yeah, there are benefits to it.
So how would I maybe get free service here? How would I include sustainability practices or principles? Actually, not practices. Say I'm redesigning my operating model. I'm doing a target operating model. What, like, and as Mrs. what are some of the things you would suggest that we look at?
About free services,
Not for free. I'm busy advertising you here, ma'am. Hey?
Okay, first of all, I'll have to sit down with you properly and we'll have to go through the whole process. I'll need to know exactly what you guys do on a day-to-day basis. It's not like I can just say, okay, you can incorporate 1, 2, 3. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different if it's a service provider. It's different if you produce certain products.
I'm a service provider.
You see, it's very different. So it's different. I'll have to really sit down with you, and then we'll have to go through every single step, every single.
But you don't have
process,
like high level things that you can be like, at a high level, I'd say, look at this and this and this, that whatever it is. Like one of the things you mentioned is obviously suppliers. Just make sure that you're with the right suppliers. Yeah. And whatever right means to you, I suppose. So maybe if we're buying water, we make sure that we're using a supplier that cares about the products and where they get them and and all of these things.
Correct. There are also certain standards, right, with a product such as this one, where you'll have to see, they'll have to have ISO certificates and all of that. So you need to look into that. Give me one service that you actually provide. What is one?
So recruitment.
Recruitment. Do you have a wellness program?
We do.
Okay.
We do have a wellness program.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
That's good. I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. So, in terms of recruiting, okay, this is quite an interesting thing, but yeah. In terms of recruiting, I think maybe if you guys would focus a lot more on finding people that are also conscious when it comes to sustainability. I know it will be difficult, but people that are, I won't say more connected to, I almost got into our mode of, I'm trying to pull back from it and it keeps pulling me in.
Go forth and prosper, girl.
Looking at people that are mostly conscious, people that understand exactly that what they are doing affects the next person. A lot of us, okay, I'll talk about engineers. Most engineers are very technical. They just want to do the job. Hey man, this is what I'm doing. This is the job. Finish and clear, right? A civil engineer gets in whatever stream that they're in, maybe structural engineering or whatever, it's I'm going to build this building and this is what I'm going to do. But rarely we actually think about the impact that particular design will have in the future.
That's so true.
Right, so recruiting people that actually put in more heart in what they do, people that are mostly conscious about the longevity and the impact that they have, even as an individual. Right, I think that's where you'll get it right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
So we need to change a little bit of our job profiles to include some of these soft skills.
Not that exactly. More soft skills. And I think we really do underplay, or we don't even think about soft skills being a major part within companies. But I think now companies are realizing that the reason why people are losing morale is because we're thinking of people as robots. We're not thinking of people as actual human beings. We're not thinking of them holistically as, oh no, this person is actually taking 80% of their life, their energy, their time to come and work for me. How do I also give back to this person? So I see that trend, especially amongst Gen Zs, where they're more focused on, apart from the salary, what else are you doing for me? I'm a human too. Are you also thinking about me as a person as I'm sitting here on the
And the
desk?
Gen Zs they are fighting.
No, I love them.
system.
Karate, they are
It's actually
dismantling
very
the whole
interesting.
structure.
I'm also enjoying it,
I love
right?
it.
But I think sometimes it comes from such a naive as well kind of place, right? And unfortunately, they don't want to listen as well.
Oh, yeah,
because everything must be fast and moving.
perfect.
So if you know,
Yeah,
but I do love it because it's actually forcing a lot of organizations who've been doing things how it used to be done. And it's forcing them to start thinking about it a bit differently.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely amazing. And then I know we need to close out soon, but I thought I wanted to actually just ask you, in your courses, for instance, like who are they targeted at? So like in terms of business specific, or if maybe in corporate, what kind of role? Because I know now there's even chief sustainability, so many sustainability managers. But like if you're in corporate, what role? If you're in business, like, you know, where are your courses targeted basically? And what do you get out of it?
Okay. Currently, I'm targeting 3 main industries, which is farming, land rehabilitation, and obviously urban farming, which is also another form of farming as well. I've decided to leave the construction industry a little bit because we have to be...
You must be ready for that fight.
You must
and
be
you know,
ready.
I actually want to build sustainable housing settlements.
Lovely. So hemp farming, basically.
I don't know what that means because I wanted to talk to people to be like, you know, is it the products? Because I know that's one of them. Like I've gone as far as I must make sure I have a borehole, even the pipes we're using, the type of, like the house must be able to be heat sustainable, those
100%.
kinds of things, and a garden on the roof.
Oh, lovely.
So I'm like there at the moment, but I'm not like at your expert level.
It's all right. It's all right. So, firstly, it's introduction to sustainability. And thinking about it obviously from a very broad perspective, right? That's the first one. The second one, it's talking about farming, so different forms of farming, regenerative farming, hemp farming, which is one that I really love the most.
Hemp farming.
Hemp farming.
Hemp
Farming. Yeah. You know that one is very controversial. People tell you, hey, get away from that place. We're not talking about that. But with a single...
read about that.
Yeah, with a single... Listen, hemp farming is amazing. It helps in terms of air quality. Even in terms of...
I've heard that you can even make clothes. And books.
Food.
Like, it's crazy.
Imagine one
And then
plant.
we've been told that it's not good for you.
One plant that can feed you, that can clothe you, that can make everything here. You smelling fresh air, my darling.
That's crazy.
Imagine one plant. So
Lack
that's
of
hemp
knowledge.
Farming. See, hemp farming, and we can also make hempcrete from it.
Hemp what?
Hempcrete.
What's that now?
It's like, think of concrete blocks,
Yes.
but made of hemp.
Oh, to build.
To build.
Look at this, and I think it's someone was even saying that I think the reason why I read it somewhere. I think I was reading Conversations with God, actually, is what I was reading. And they talk about the hemp plant. Because there's a part where it says that there's the hemp plant which can feed, clothe you, and whatever, but you don't use it because it's cheap to produce. So the person is not going to get, like, it's not going to be a super billionaire because everyone can just do it for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, then I dismissed it. It was like 5 years ago. But wow.
But now the processes are so expensive, you can't even say it's a cheap plant anymore.
Oh no.
Even cosmetics, eh? Even cosmetics, hemp is so great for eczema.
I mean, I know I've researched it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I didn't know now that it's now becoming...
There is some buzz around hemp.
And now the price that even starting that business is expensive.
Listen, it's so amazing, right? The other part is urban farming, which is your hydroponic systems, rooftop farming.
Can you speak to us like we're 5-year-olds, ma'am?
Okay.
Hydroponic
means I am taking a little bit of soil and then I'm planting, but it's using a medium, a different medium apart from soil. So using water. That's hydroponic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So imagine
it grows like everything just in water.
Listen. So amazing. Obviously,
so in
you
my like your 4 ways vibes when you're saying urban farming, so that because I don't have a lot of space, that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Got
so
it.
you can do it in your kitchen. There are systems for your kitchen. You can even have one. I started one back home. I was like, I want to test this. So I took 5-liter bottles. We normally just discard them, right? The water bottles.
Yes.
So I've decided, okay, which plants actually need more water. So it's your tomatoes, your lettuce, your cabbage, your watermelon.
Okay.
So I've already started that. So what I did was I cut the bottles from this part. Then I just put this upside down. So this actually acts like a
funnel.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you put the plant on top, and then
you put it at the top here.
Yeah. So the plant. Okay, just think of it reverse. Let's do it this way. Think about it this way. It's cut like that.
Yes.
But now
so
it's
I'm
like
only
this.
having
the plant
bottom.
is here
Got it.
on top. And the thing is, nature is so amazing, guys. I don't think we understand. Nature has done the work for us. We don't even need to be working. Everything is free.
Yeah, this is true.
So
scarcity is a myth.
Exactly. So the plant literally will take all of the nutrients from that that you've added from that water.
From the water.
Think of it as a straw. And then it just keeps doing that. Then you'll just see the water getting less and less, and then you just need to
just pour more water.
Pour more water.
No soil needed.
No soil needed.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's amazing. South Africa.
Because for me, those are the things. So I grew up a lot visiting my grandmother in the Bundus, like in the farms. So for me, I think when I came to Joburg especially, so because I was between Eastern Cape, my hometown, like home, and my mom had a small little garden. And obviously, Matatiele, it was rural. We had like a whole farm that we needed to go get the water from the streams, the whole shebang, like the whole thing. So when I got to Joburg, and I saw so many people on the streets, but they have yards. Like, they're not big, but they're... And I said that, I'm like, this makes no sense to me. Why not spinach? Because I remember my mother would be like, spinach is like weed. Like, it grows everywhere.
It is a weed.
You just need to buy yourself up. And then you've got to share more. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, I grew up with like when I say when I visit my grandmother, like how you eat as well, and the thought process, and the fact that we don't always need to eat all the things that we eat, right? Which is actually some of the things that I think gets into our mind is that if I don't have meat in my plate, suddenly it's dijo,
Imagine.
which is
and we had
I'd
a plant-based diet.
I'm like plant. Vegetables in your garden. Why are you out in the streets begging for food when you could just plant? Do you know what I mean? So I find that and how do we then change that mindset, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that we want to do with evolution is how do we shift that mindset to actually stop being a victim.
It's education,
and start doing for yourself.
It's education. We just need to educate our people that, hey, you have gold in your backyard. I'm even, the reason why I started this in Mafikeng, I'm being deliberate because I'm like, we leave, we go and live, go to Cape Town, we go and live, go to Europe, overseas, we forget our people back home, right? So I'm just monitoring it. I'm waiting for it for 3 months. I'm so excited. But I want to educate our people that you can actually just get the seeds.
Just get the seeds. Just plant in your backyard.
In your backyard.
Just for yourself to eat. For you and your family to be fine. Because actually, you mentioned Cape Town. I've just moved. And one of the lady who I think is a brilliant business, she's working with women who've planted in the backyards.
Yes.
So I order from her weekly. I'll be like, because she'll send a list of the things she has based on what the ladies have. Onions, spinach, whatever. But for like a bag of like weekly veggies, which at Woolworths or even at Pick and Pay would cost me more. I leave there with like 390 rands of vegetables, which are homegrown, like naturally grown,
without pests, without chemicals.
And I'm supporting technically 3 businesses, because I'm not just supporting the one I'm buying from. She's also going around, and then one of those ladies has decided to cook. So every night, maybe on the delivery days, she'll have cakes only on order. But she makes them natural based on the
co-ops.
And for me, this is the circular economy that we should be thinking about.
That's exactly
in South Africa, because we have so much gold.
Our people have the skill, they have the talent,
the creativity. Our people are so creative.
Our people are so creative. Our people,
so amazing.
I don't think we understand how gifted,
gifted
we are. We were just convinced, hey,
mirrors, mirrors,
smoke. Smokes and mirrors,
it
guys.
breaks my heart when I find this out. This has been so lovely.
Thank you so much.
I've loved having this conversation. Obviously, as you can see, I would continue some more if time didn't restrict. But I'm really keen, and maybe the next conversation we could look at how do we structure it specifically maybe for certain small businesses, and what are the practical things that they can start doing. And where do they move from there? I think that would also be very beneficial to them, because this was a great start to know about sustainability and circular economy. But to your point about education, how do we start this education
how do
system?
we start the conversation?
And getting the people talking. So this has been fun. This has been great. You will catch this on, I'm sure we've got a YouTube channel and Instagram. And bits of it on LinkedIn. But thank you so much, TK.
Thank you so much.
And please reach out to TK. We'll have her links, her websites. If you need to know more about sustainability, you can reach out to her, or you'll have to wait for another conversation as well.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.